been really busy. But, I mean, we're gonna be looking at a video. It might be good. I don't know.
About A Wrinkle in Time. It wasn't made for him.
Oh, Brie Larson, wait until you get a load of me.
Oh, that's loud. Sorry about that.
So I was about to record my video on
That's him, not me.
the hit masterpiece film Blockers starring John Cena.
Honey, Rachel, those are your daughters.
And then I forgot that I hadn't even seen Captain Marvel yet. There have been so many dudes on YouTube making big buckaroos off
Okay.
of this movie. And I kind of feel inferior for not doing the same thing. So I kind of waited to see this movie for a very long time because when it came out, there was a big wave of, negativity or positivity on Twitter and YouTube.
I mean, yeah, negativity or positivity, those are, you have to have one of them. Oh, hi, whoever you are, I hope you're having a great day.
And I didn't really want to get caught up in it. I wanted to see the film on my own. I wanted to see the film and judge the film based on its own merits. I didn't want to be influenced by anyone's opinion, positively or negatively. So like a good person...
That's fair enough. You want to go into the movie fresh. I like that.
I went to the cinemas and actually paid for a ticket to see Captain Marvel because I'm all about that legal life.
Wow, you're so cool. I paid for a ticket to see it too. I mean, when it was out, but I just recently watched it because, well, I got an idea to do this video because I watched an episode of EFAP. If you watch Mahler. But, I wanted to do this video because, well, this guy made me a bit angry.
What's up, everyone? It's Kayla. On behalf of
And ads
Family,
make me
to tell you
angry
all about the
too.
free version of the best communication assistant in the world.
And you know what? I was thoroughly impressed. I was impressed.
I mean, the movie's really awful. I mean, the character is really awful. She's mean to people. She basically tortures the guy and steals his bike for no reason. And the movie treats it as a good thing, or treats it like she didn't do anything wrong. And she kills her friends and doesn't really care about it. And the bad guy gets dispatched easily. There's no moral quandary, no moral. There's no really oh, you controlled me for this long, but now I'm strong. There's nothing like that. She just defeats him.
I don't know about thoroughly, but I was impressed. Whether it was the actual filmmaking, the acting, the special effects, I thought Captain Marvel was a lot better than I was led to believe. But before we get to my perspective of the film, I want to take a look at some of the criticisms that other people like myself, white dudes, have.
What does race have to do with it? Why are you bringing up race?
Had online on YouTube and whatnot. I really do need to specify this because YouTube is a bit of fucking chaos. I want to say that if you don't like this movie, I don't think you're a sexist.
Okay, that's baseline. That's baseline. If you don't like a movie, you shouldn't think anyone is sexist. I mean, yes. Okay, good for you. You're baseline.
I don't think you hate women. I don't think you're a misogynist.
Again.
I don't believe that. If you don't like this movie...
Again, baseline. Everyone should think that.
That's okay. That's fine.
Is that like a personal attack or something?
If you go on YouTube and search the
I mean, she said that.
word Brie followed by lust...
Okay.
Not even like Brie Larson ugly or Brie Larson annoying or Brie Larson bad. You get bombarded with fucking video after video about how Brie Larson is an awful person.
I mean, she said a lot of awful shit, potentially racist shit, and about white people, and about how this movie isn't for you, white people. I mean, very racist.
And how she hates white men, and how that's hypocritical because she's married to a white man.
Oh, was. He couldn't even stand her.
And all that bullshit. And it's kind of ridiculous, to be honest with you. Normally, I don't...
I mean, she did lie. Okay. He put up a picture of Avengers cast of a couple of videos. Avengers cast savagely roast Brie Larson on her lies about doing her own stunts. I mean, she didn't do her own stunts, she lied about it. Brie Larson is ruining Marvel. Brie Larson exposed again over stunts. Lie, question mark. I mean, she didn't do her own stunts and she lied about it. She was very... she said, what'd she say? I'm not going to be the next Tom Cruise. I'm going to be the next me. You know, all very, what the word? Sorry, I'm tired. Very, very pompous. That's what she said. No, that's what she was.
I don't like to generalize because I don't believe in that, but I've seen like 3 of these videos, and I think
That is generalizing.
I get the gist of all of them.
That is generalizing. You've only seen 3, and you're saying all of them are like that.
Basically, Brie Larson is a bad actress or a bad Captain Marvel because she doesn't smile or she doesn't show emotion.
No, she doesn't show emotion very well while she's acting.
Or she doesn't have a character arc. And, you know...
She really doesn't. She just goes from kind of godlike to godlike and doesn't really grow as a character. She really doesn't. She even the she learned she has a power limiter patch on her neck, and that she doesn't even need to overcome. She doesn't even take it off. The fact that she knows the power limiter is limiting her power gets the power limiter destroyed. It's crazy.
It's also because she's a woman. Look,
So you think...
I'm sure there's reader arc, and...
We're going to listen that to again. And remember, he said, if you don't like this woman, if you don't like this movie, you weren't a sexist.
You know, it's also because she's a woman. Look, I'm sure...
This guy's an asshole. He literally said that if you didn't like this movie, you weren't a sexist. And then went on to say, oh, you don't like this movie because she's a woman.
There's reasons why people don't like this movie, and I'm sure there's genuine reasons why people...
I mean, everyone had genuine... Every reason is a genuine reason. Just if that reason is, you know, is valuable to a disgusting. Because obviously if you didn't believe something, it wouldn't be genuine to you.
People don't like this movie. And that's obviously fine. I'm not going to call you a sexist or a monster because you...
Now, obviously people can say things without being genuine. I mean, I don't...
Gave Captain Marvel a 2 out of 5. I couldn't give less of a fuck. But a lot of the reviews, especially the ones here on YouTube, they tend to be a little sexist. Like, there's this one video that just goes...
He pulling up Mahler's video on Captain Marvel.
On in excruciatingly boring detail.
I mean, boring is incredibly subjective. I mean, make better commentary about the video.
How she is a horrible character and how she's a boring lead. It's, it's mind-numbing. The person in this video uses
Say the person in the video, you coward.
the scene in Captain Marvel in which Carol Danvers is basically outside a shop and some dude on a bike tells her to smile more, and then when the dude goes inside the shop to presumably harass some more women.
Telling someone to smile is harassing. How is that harassing? I mean, it's literally not. How he was flirting with her. I mean, you could say it's flirting. What? Sorry, my brain is getting destroyed by this guy.
And Carol steals his bike and drives off. According to the person that made this video, that's not an appropriate thing to do.
Yeah, stealing someone's property. It's not a good thing. Now, listen, you, person on my stream, listening. That means, according to this guy, let's say let's say I say, smile to you, you have the right to steal my property. The right to steal my bike. Right here. That's what this guy says. Apparently. This guy's stupid.
Oh, it portrays her as a bad role model for
It does.
girls. Like this.
It does. I would not want you to steal my bike.
This fucking guy really cares what little girls think. To be honest, I don't really understand that one because Carol Danvers, as a character, she wouldn't straight up hurt that person because
She literally did. In the deleted scene that I don't know why they created, but they did.
I don't think that's her moral compass. But that guy was being a major jerk to her.
Yeah, if you're being a major jerk to someone, I guess you can just steer the stuff. Listen, I don't want to be a jerk to you, but if I was, apparently you can steal my stuff. Apparently that's how it works.
So I don't think it's out of her character to steal his bike and
Then she's a horrible character. And the movie, it would be okay if the movie treated it as a bad thing. She does it, but she learns her lesson, this, that, the other thing. But she doesn't, and the movie treats it as a good thing.
and then ride off with it because that's just her way of saying, look, fuck this guy. I'm not going
I hope you...
to drop to his level and be an asshole to him.
Yeah, you're not going to drop to his level. You're just going to be a more horrible person from your point of view and steal his stuff. Why? I thought you were all about that legal life. Stealing someone's property. It's not legal, my friend.
I'm just going to be smarter than him.
Yeah, because stealing someone's property, it's smart. Listen, I didn't think I needed to say this, but don't steal people's property, no matter how much this guy says it. How do I skip this ad?
So before people accuse me of being a Captain Marvel, SJW, woke warrior, whatever the fuck people like
We weren't saying that, but you're pretty insane.
to comment these days, I just want to say that I don't think this movie is flawless. I don't think it's a 5 out of 5 cinematic masterpiece. I think there are plenty of problems in this film. Specifically, the fucking music. The music in this film is atrocious. The score is good. I think that the score is fine. But the various artist tracks that play are pretty terrible. Whoever
I don't particularly like Nirvana, but they're a good band.
came up with the idea to use that song like I'm Just a Girl during that fight scene should be blacklisted and never hired again because that
I mean, I wouldn't go that far, but okay.
was one of the worst
I
things.
mean, not okay, but I was just being facetious.
Oh my god, that was so stupid. Like, it's so mind-numbingly obvious. Like, what an obvious fucking music choice. Like, fuck off. Fuck off.
Let's put an end to this!
The whole hatred for Brie Larson's interpretation of Captain Marvel kind of reminds me of Henry Cavill's version of Superman, in the sense that just because the character isn't smiling or quipping every 5 minutes, it doesn't mean they're boring or unlikable.
That's not what we worried about. Quipping, it doesn't make your character. Having an extra character and likes and dislikes makes your character a character.
It just means they're going through a certain character arc. Specifically for
Yeah,
Danvers,
character arc on the best thing in the world.
says this whole movie is about her rediscovering her humanity. So I'm fucking sorry that she's not smiling every 5 minutes. Oh, she lacks any character. She's fucking boring, man. And I disagree with that as well, because in like the first 10 minutes, we see her crack a joke.
You guys wouldn't happen to know how these things come off, would you? No? Fine.
Like,
That's really horrible. Like, and for one, the scroll should be saying stuff like, no, stop, I'm on your side. We're not the bad guys. Your boss is the bad guy. But that's, again, the problem with the plot.
so obviously she does have that humanity. She's just being told by the Kree that she shouldn't show that humanity.
No, that's not a part of the movie. They joke and the Kree joke and, have fun with each other throughout the movie.
Shouldn't show that freedom and emotion because that's a threat to them.
Control it.
In this movie,
And then she doesn't control her emotions, and then she wins.
Danvers is trying to prove
In
something
that scene.
to Yon Rag, played by Jude Law, and the Supreme Intelligence. She's constantly wanting their approval. And by the end of the movie, she's like, I don't need your fucking approval.
I've been fighting with one arm tied behind my back. But what happens when I'm finally set free?
Yeah,
Again, that was horrible. I don't feel the emotion in that scene. You really don't. And you don't get the sense she doesn't go through any struggle in the movie at all. She had super powerful throughout the movie, and then she just becomes more powerful.
Yeah, I think the movie's message is pretty fucking sweet. It's like, you're not less of a person for showing some emotion. In fact, you're actually stronger than people that do not show emotion.
No, I definitely don't agree with that. Showing emotion doesn't make you a badass. Handling yourself and getting through the shit that you need to get through is a very strong thing. And just letting it out at every moment that you get shows how weak mentally you are.
There's this consistent criticism with women that, like, they're too
I don't... What?
emotional, and that's why they can't get certain jobs.
No, I don't know. Never heard of that.
And this movie's like, no, showing emotion isn't a bad thing. It's actually a good thing.
I mean, it depends.
And I thought that was really sweet. It was a very, very touching message to get across to the audience. We see this directly paralleled with the antagonist, quote unquote, Talos, played by Ben Mendelsohn, who, despite being a green alien dude that can shapeshift, he's just a dad that wants to find a home for his family.
And then why doesn't he say that at the beginning of the movie?
Here's one thing you need to do before buying anything online.
More ads.
Don't spend another dime on Amazon until you watch
So
this
many
first.
ads on
Watch
this video.
I mean, when I heard that the Skrulls were going to be portrayed as good guys, I was like, this sucks. This is fucking stupid. The Skrulls are one of the most iconic villains in the Marvel catalog. Why would you make them good?
Thank you.
But it works really well for the film. The movie portrays the Skrulls as immigrants and refugees, and the
No, immigrants and refugees are two different things. And first it portrayed them as bad people, even though they aren't. And then later, that's the big reveal that they're good people, but why didn't they just say that at the beginning of the movie?
symbolism or the metaphor is, it's a fucking Marvel movie, so it's very in your face and it's very obvious.
That's a good thing that it's very obvious. I mean, it's very obvious they should have said that at the beginning.
But it works. I
But it
thought it
works,
worked
it
really
just
well.
works.
And to the people that are commenting like, oh, the Skrulls are good now. It's like, no, they're not. The filmmakers are just saying that these Skrulls are good. There are good Skrulls and there are bad Skrulls. And in this film, we saw the good Skrulls. There's a duality of man. You ever heard that saying? A duality of Skrull. How about that?
You're very smart, aren't you?
I love my man Ben Mendelsohn, seeing an Aussie in a big movie, it's nice, especially when it's an Aussie who is as nice and generous as Ben Mendelsohn, who is just a true legend of Australian cinema. And I'm very happy that he's in one of these gigantic Marvel films. I really enjoyed the fact that he was just a guy trying to look for a home for his family,
Yeah, I mean, except at the beginning of the movie when he should have been saying that.
He wasn't just some asshole that wanted to destroy the universe or some shit. In fact, when I saw the movie, it just made me reflect on the comics and think, actually, why the fuck are there no good Skrulls in the books? It's a bit unrealistic that an entire fucking species would be evil. That's really ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like a bad trip in there.
With the way that some people, and again, I don't want to generalize, but seriously,
That was just generalizing. Some people. Generalizing.
a lot more men that hate this movie than there are women.
Why are we making this about gender? And obviously more men would hate the movie because more men saw the movie. Because action movies appeal to more men.
I think that, people really don't get the movie's message. The way I've seen people respond to this film, I would have thought that the message is men suck, men are fucking horrible, men ruin everything, men should burn and die.
I mean, I don't know what the message of the movie is, but I would hope it's not that.
The way I've seen people respond, that's sort of what I thought the theme was. But the theme is actually the complete opposite of that. My interpretation of the movie led me to believe that the movie's theme or idea or message is don't control people no matter what gender. There's
What? I mean, that doesn't make any sense. The point in whatever.
Supreme Intelligence is a really interesting character in this film because they specifically mention at the start the Supreme Intelligence looks completely different for every single character. And the only time we see the Supreme Intelligence, who is the main villain of the film, by the way, she's portrayed as a woman. So even then, even this weird belief that
I mean, again, it's...
the film is anti-men, the main villain is a fucking woman.
I mean, but you just said the villain is portrayed by different people. In the movie, the AI intelligence, because that's the way it works, because fuck you. The AI intelligence is portrayed as as a person you respect the most. And that just happened to be a woman. And Captain Marvel respect this character the most, but she's not. That isn't the main villain. It's some AI, so it's not even a woman.
I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand how people don't put that together.
Yeah, it's like a bad trip in there.
If I'm being completely honest with you, the only way as a male that you could watch this film and be offended by its portrayal of men is if you're one of the assholes it portrays. If you emotionally control women or tell random women that they need to smile more.
No, he didn't say smile more. You need to say, can I have a smile? How is that harassing?
Or think
If I go outside and tell a random woman to smile, is she now allowed to steal my stuff?
of a woman less than you because she doesn't have a dick, then I'm sorry, but
you're very offensive. Women can have dicks.
you're a fucking asshole. This movie shows the extremes of men and masculinity, yes. But at the same time, it also breaks down those stereotypes with characters like Nick Fury and Talos. Fury, despite being a government agent, is a fucking softie. Like, the second Goose the Cat show...
No, they ruin his character in the movie. He...
up, we see this completely different side of Fury, and it's like, holy shit, that's how I would have responded to a cat. And
well, that's how you would have responded, yes. But is this how Nick Fury would have responded? Probably not.
with Talos, he's just a dad.
Yeah, Talos is just a dad. You're a stupid dad because he doesn't say, hey, you know, we're the good guys at the beginning of the movie, but whatever.
You know, like, he's not some fucking asshole.
I mean, he is, kind of. He gets all his friends killed for no reason.
Wants a home for his family.
Yeah, it's like a bad trip in there.
If you go onto the internet and search the most searched for Avengers on Pornhub, number 1 is Captain Marvel. Not.
I mean, he has a graphic up here, and I'm surprised Hulk is so low. You know, I imagine people like big green things, but whatever. Well, yeah, this is extremely weird and what? But yeah, at the time the movie was very popular. It makes sense that she would be the most searched, but why? What?
Not by a little bit, but by a significant amount. So what I'm thinking here is, you know, you don't hate Captain Marvel. You just hate the fact that she's a woman that can...
You're just... he put a... You don't leave right now. I got something important to say. If you don't like this movie, and if you don't like Captain Marvel, he said you weren't a sexist and a misogynist. Guess what he said? Guess what he said? You're a misogynist if you don't like Captain Marvel. I don't think he scripted this. Well, I don't think he remembers 3 words after he said something. All I know is this guy's a fucking idiot.
Can make individual choices. Anyway, in the end, Captain Marvel doesn't have a problem with men.
I think it does. I think you have a problem with men, too, despite being a man.
As the film has a problem with horrible people, no matter their gender.
So everyone's an asshole? Is that your message?
And that's it.
Okay. We're gonna do one more video. Might watch The Escapist. God of War. Okay, next video we're gonna be watching an ad, but next video we're gonna be watching The Escapist, God of War 2018. So I wanted to do full screen. Thank you for, I'm feeling I know who you are. And, oh, I should tell you, to all my subscribers, soon, I will be soon making that collab with someone very special to me. She's my girlfriend, But I'm excited. Because for one, my first collaboration with somebody. And I've been wanting to do that for a while. And two, it's gonna be in person. And I don't know what type of setup she has, but I hope she has a computer I hope we can get this more official to where I can show you. I eventually want to get to the point where I can show you what is on screen and myself at the same time. If I can only do one or the other right now. One more thing. I've been having a little bit of trouble working up the energy to make videos and stuff like that. I've been down a little bit in the dumps, but I've been worried about a lot about my career and stuff like that, but getting closer financially to what I can do, it's definitely made me feel better. That's why I'm doing this video. I feel I had to work to do it today, but I'm doing it.
Whoops, I hear the enchanting sound of freshly disembodied giblets raining upon the roof. I think we're getting a visit from that lovable nutter Kratos, video gaming's favourite god botherer stroke god pulverizer. But then we start God of War 4 and it's like our crazy alcoholic friend showed up to the party and quietly asks for a mineral water because he found religion in prison. You want to go out and murder some people who mostly don't deserve it, Kratos, mate? No, I have to set an example for the kid now. Oh, for the love of God, of war, Kratos. Last time we met you pulled a guy's head off because he had glowing eyes and he needed a flashlight. Now you're all teaching your kid about restraint and mercy and the only decapitation is consensual. Maybe there was a feeling.
I mean, what's wrong with that? I mean, what's wrong with making a character who was incredibly violent? Was incredibly just, I'm killing things because I'm angry, you know, and I'm not going to think about it. What's wrong with turning that, having that character, think about his actions and then, try and make himself better and try and raise another person into a better version of him.
Feeling God of War needed to age with its audience, but the original God of
I don't think that. I mean, the publisher came out and said they wanted to create this character create this new version of Kratos because they grown up, yes. But it's definitely not about the audience. Yes, it's about the audience, but what I mean is they wanted to do it and the audience enjoyed it.
God of War's unique selling point was its sheer ridiculous audacity and violence, and now I feel it, like Evil Within, has been sacrificed on the altar of the serious hairy dad game, pioneered by The Last of Us that
I don't think they were inspired by The Last of Us. But I think they definitely wanted to take this character into a new direction.
Still say is overrated. I should probably admit to being somewhat biased against God of War 4, and yes, I am going to insist on calling it that, because I hate when a big game comes out on a Friday and takes up my whole weekend, that I could have...
So you're biased toward this game because of your schedule. That's fair.
Spent wasting time playing video games instead of wasting time playing video games for work. But also because I remember the first God of Wars on PlayStation 2. Specifically, I remember how they used to start, with Kratos getting dropped into a room full of enemies, yelling, "If anything's still alive in 30 seconds, I'm going to get a real narc on," and splattering them all against rocks like he's doing the laundry. Meanwhile, God of War 4 starts with Kratos very slowly carrying a big lump of wood home to cremate the missus. I'm slightly insulted by...
It's about setting the tone. The beginning of your game or movie or whatever sets a tone. How do I want to start this? Well, would it make sense for what we want to do to have a giant bombastic action scene? Or would it be slow and calm to set the scene and set the dynamic between Kratos and Atreus, his son?
By the way, the game insists on making us press buttons and push forward to progress this glorified cinematic, like we've got any fucking choice. Maybe I don't feel like carrying the body to the pyre. Maybe I think it'd look nicer on the privet hedge. I say the game starts this way, but really the game starts about 6 times. To the funeral, Kratos takes his little cum sprout hunting, and then the game finally starts when a troll shows up in the combat.
I mean, the game starts when you press the start button. I don't know what else you need.
Kicks in, but after we formally introduce him to the inside of his chest cavity, we just go back to bed. Finally, the game actually starts when an introductory boss appears, or at least after we kill him and set off on the big journey. Then we play through some linear levels for a while before we unlock the boat, and the world opens up and the game can truly begin. Right after you get to Tyr's Temple and unlock the 9 realms, anyway. This is like listening to a story being told by a very old person and waiting for them to get to the fucking point, eventually realizing there might never have been one in the first place. So yes, the plot. Having ensured that the ancient Greeks now have to pray to a skip full of guts and severed heads, Kratos is now hiding out in Norse mythology, but after the death of his wife, the local gods start noticing the 4-mile radius of disemboweled goblins surrounding his house, and he and his son must go on a road trip through Midgard and the 9 realms. Well, 4 or 5 of the 9 realms. Gotta save something for the fucking DLC.
I mean, there is no DLC. It's just that there isn't no DLC.
To smash Odin and Thor's heads together until they start making squishing noises. Oh wait, no, not that. Sorry, I forgot we're a serious hairy dad now.
He doesn't want to kill gods anymore. He wants to be a better person, and he learned there are consequences to killing gods.
We're just going to scatter the wife's ashes, learn valuable lessons about maturity, and maybe get some ice cream. In fact, despite the game constantly banging on about Odin and what a violent, paranoid fuckface he is, he never fucking shows up. And what I assumed at the time had been a rather bland and heavily scripted boss fight as a prelude to the final chapter of the game ended up being the final boss. And then at the very, very end, the game does a very cheeky thing by setting up an explosive climactic battle and then going, whoops, here we go again. Freeze frame, roll credits like it's fucking Happy Days. I know there's no law saying that games have to end with boss fights, but when I looked back on God of War 4, I felt like nothing much of consequence happened.
I mean, Fimbulwinter happens. That's very consequential. It's very important to the lore of this world. And an actual Norse mythology. But that is like the end of the world. That's the 3-year winter before Ragnarok. That's the most devastating thing can happen. And it's very consequential.
We tootled around Midgard for a while. At one point, a dragon pops up out of nowhere, which we smack straight back down with a rolled up newspaper. And the only major Norse god we got to beat up was Balder, who it seems never recovered from being in Too Human and became addicted to meth. I partly want to blame this on Save It for the DLC syndrome, and partly on the open world design that it seems is now as mandatory for AAA.
I mean, the game is an open world. It's open areas, but definitely no open world.
The games is picking up a case of crabs on shore leave. It means the plot can't be so consequential that we can't blow it off for 3 hours to go winkle picking. And the game's really not subtle about pushing that aspect. Hey, we could continue the plot, but then again we could piss about for a while. What do you say? Says Kratos' precocious little sperm deposit on 3 separate occasions. Nice try, game, but if I explore, I'm damn certain I'm going to find treasure orifices that can only be spread apart with the magic anal beads we don't get till plot mission 9 or whatever. You haven't mentioned the combat yet, Yards. Alright, fine, the game's pretty good for majestic landscapes, and I felt moved to progress just to see what the next environment was, and if we could get souvenir postcards to bore Kratos' neighbours to death with once we get home. I was actually asking about the combat, and I suppose the relationship between Kratos and his overgrown pubic louse is quite nicely written, and watching them mutually develop over time is the big draw of the plot, even if the open world thing also makes their arc a bit stop and start. Yards, tell us about the combat. The combat's not great, alright? Are you happy now? It's over complex for one thing. It didn't take long
I mean,
for me to start finding it really hard to decide what combat upgrades to unlock when I knew
isn't...
damn well just from the descriptions that I wasn't going to use any of the fuckers. Press R.
I mean, that's entirely subjective, and if it's overcomplicated, try playing a MOBA. They're really complicated.
One and then pause and then hold down R2 and bite down on the trackpad to do the Spartan gurgling death bum wiggle. Thanks, I think I'll stick to just mashing light attack and pressing dodge or block when appropriate. Oh yes, and later in the...
I mean, that's entirely your decision. There's nothing... You decide what to do, so what's the problem?
Remembering to switch between my ice weapon and my fire weapon, depending on whether the current enemy has orange or blue stink clouds coming out of their armpits. Also, I know you've long admired Kratos from afar, Camera, but now he's let you into his life, there's no need to be so fucking clingy.
I agree with this. I've come around on the camera, playing the game again. It's a bit too close.
The camera stays right up his bum the whole time, makes it hard to gauge distance and your surroundings, which isn't ideal for me.
I mean, I already have a problem with the camera, it being too close already, but I think it definitely is a bit too close.
Combat. And I know for a fact the game fully agrees with me, because it had to put visually off-putting and hard-to-read glowing arrows around you to indicate when something's standing right behind you with a smile and a massive stiffy. Seems like the much more elegant solution would have been to just draw the camera back a bit so it's not giving us a constant rectal exam. God of War 4 God of 4? God of 4 is absorbing and imaginative enough to keep me going and perfectly satisfactory in a vacuum, but I can't help thinking of it as yet another classic series sacrificing some of its youth.
It didn't sacrifice anything. It's building on a main character. I hate people who make this argument.
Identity for the sake of making itself more like the standard AAA game of today. Grindy side quests, item crafting, and standard camera.
It's character development.
Bum hugging instead of the arty fixed camera angles
Okay.
overseeing combat like watching a lawnmower blade inside an overheating tumble dryer. Younger Kratos was never relatable, but he was pretty fucking interesting to watch when he had a narc on and two fistfuls of sight.
And this new Kratos isn't interesting?
Klopp's nutsack. Serious hairy dad Kratos is more human, but also boring, stuffy, and aloof. Yeah,
Boring is not a criticism. Give me references.
Kratos really seems like a guy concerned with maintaining his dignity. That's why he coloured in his face with red biro and put on a cheerleading skirt.
Okay, anyway, thanks for watching. 2 people. Have a great day. See you tomorrow.